So I'm usually asked a few times during stream and in comments, what's the best Moonshiner location? I usually drop my standard answer, say La Grasse. But why is that? What makes this location better or worse than any other ones? So over the last couple days, I have moved my Moonshine Shack to every single location, costing me $250 each time. With the help from a couple of amazing Dakota River 7 members, Gillbots and Golden General, we ran through a couple of cell missions on each shack location and determine this list. If you're going to like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let's shoot again for 1,000 likes because every like helps the channel. If we do hit that 1,000, I'll personally offer to help pay for Sadie Adler to move closer to civilization, because who wants to truck through all that snow to get a reward of $7.69? I mean, come on, why do you live in the middle of nowhere? And if you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date on all videos and live streams covering all things Red Dead Online, tips and tricks, news updates, gameplay, just good old-fashioned fun. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitter and join our amazing community over on Discord. Both those links are found down in the description. With all that said, let's jump right over to the list. Howdy Cowpoke, Austin BMX here, and as I stated before the intro, we went out to determine what is the best Moonshiner location. To determine this, we did 2 deliveries from each location over the course of a couple days to determine how well the deliveries are as far as distance goes, the ease of how they are able to be completed, as well as ranked their locations on the distance to fast travel and other amenities in the game. So our first location and the worst location is the good old Grizzlies. I always figured this was the worst since it was my first shack location and it was terrible. But I was worried our 4th location might take this spot, but it did not happen. The Grizzlies is by far the worst. First off, its location is nowhere near a fast travel spot, so it is hard to leave the shack because Rockstar decided we can travel to a shack, but not from it. So that makes no sense there. So that one thing makes it pretty low on the list. The next thing is its terrible deliveries. Most of them require a water crossing or skinny bridges where there's always an NPC coming. The roads out there in the mountains are sometimes not even roads, but trails with tight corners, trees lining the roads, accounting for many broken bottles unless you hire the world's best wagon driver, which I definitely am not. So if you want a challenge or like the seclusion of your shack way out in the middle of nowhere, then stay away from the Grizzlies. Next up is our number 4 spot, and I thought this spot might take over the worst spot because, I mean, it's in the desert. Yeah, it's Hennigan's Stead, and not a good part of the stead either, like McFarland's Ranch, but way in the middle of nowhere. It is literally between an out-of-bounds body of water and a huge cliff. I mean, come on. So I was a bit unsure about this location. As far as fast travel, it's not too far from Armadillo, but not as close to any fast travel as our top 3 spots we'll get into soon. Was very surprised on its deliveries, though. The 2 I did were a bit on the long side, but they were easy to navigate, very smooth roads compared to our worst spot in the Grizzlies. This made for pretty easy runs. We even found a legendary on the way. For the most part, this location is not too bad. If you like spending your time in the desert, then it may be higher on your list, but I don't, so it's number 4. Our number 3 spot on the list for today, and the second location where we actually got a legendary, we got a beaver on one of these trips, is the Heartlands. Now I love this area of the map. Open plains, lots of animals, and it's centralized. I usually spend quite a lot of my time here in the Heartlands. The shack is really close to a fast travel spot, Emerald Ranch, or Emerald Station, but more times than not, you're not really going that way with your deliveries. You actually go the opposite way. One delivery I did do with this test, I did go straight down the hill to Emerald Ranch, and that was fantastic. But the other one was out to Butcher's Creek, where you have to deal with not so pleasant road conditions, rutted roadways, sharp turns. I also have a lot of deliveries with posse members in this shack area, and we usually have to go to Van Horn quite a lot. Definitely not ideal at all. So for those reasons, the Heartland landed at number 3 for our location list. For the next 2 locations, we're going to kind of do something a little different. We're going to do a head-to-head because they are very, very close. And I want you all to comment below which spot should win because I don't know if I can choose. course, the last two spots we have available are Tall Trees and LaGrosse. And I hear a lot of people in chat say either one of these is the best, and I can see now why they think that. Let's take a look at them. First, let's look at their respective locations. Tall Trees is literally within walking distance of the fast travel post at Manzanita Post, which makes it seem like it has its own, which I wish the shacks had their own anyway. It's kind of dumb that we can fast travel to them, but not away from them. While LaGrosse has a fast travel spot fairly close, you know, the LaGrosse fast travel spot is a short ride away, but not too bad. This makes it easy to quickly get to and from your shack if needed, if you need to go back there quickly to get a delivery done and then fast travel out of there back to wherever you were going. Out of the 4 deliveries I did with these 2 spots, they all were pretty short, and one of each of the 2 delivery locations for each spot landed in a town where you could quickly fast travel back to the shack to start a new batch. That included Blackwater and Saint Denis. It's always great when your Moonshine location actually brings you to a town. You could quickly go right back to your shack and get another batch started. Because one thing I like or dislike about locations is how often you are stranded in the middle of nowhere. And that happened one time with the Hennigan Stead, and it happens quite a lot with the Grizzlies. I'm looking right at you, Grizzly Shack. Stop making me ride back from the mountains in the dark and the rain. As far as the ease of deliveries, I think LaGrosse has a small advantage because of the flatness. LaGrosse is very, very flat, and all deliveries are very easy to navigate. I don't, however, see much of a disadvantage in Tall Trees. With this, it wasn't noticeable, but the area you do need a little focus on navigation because there are some sharper corners and up and down hills, but both of these are almost exactly the same. Okay, so since I am making a ranking list, I guess I will say that LaGrosse has my vote for number 1. It always has been. I usually say that. It's mainly because of I usually spend most of my time on that side of the map. I may be biased, but the relative flatness of all deliveries, making them pretty easy, is pretty dang good. Although I did really like having a fast travel spot literally within running distance of your shack over in Tall Trees, so maybe that may change the way we feel about it. I don't know. So I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to comment down below what your guys' list is. If you think I should go with the LaGrosse, I always do, or maybe we should do Tall Trees for a while because it actually seems pretty good. If you guys like this video, again, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel for more Red Dead Online content, including tips and tricks, news updates, gameplay, just good old-fashioned fun. We also stream right here on YouTube Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5:30 Pacific time. Hope to see you there. And as always, hope to see you on the prairie sometime, but until then, see you later.